Tell you what, if you want to bring pollinators to your garden, plant some catnip. This stuff is always covered with bees. Like, I just walk by it and hear them buzzing. I did so much work in the garden today. Tied up all of these tomatoes, pruned them. Actually enlisted my teenagers' help. And we did a lot of weeding, mulching. So I'm forever telling you guys to make sure you hydrate, stay out of the garden during the heat of the day if you can help it, and take care of your skin. And you know, hypocrisy is usually not my thing, but I have to confess, I totally broke my own rules today and got way too much sun on my back. I am not feeling great right now. We harvested an entire 5-gallon bucket of cucumbers. There's a few stray onions on top that we found in the weeds. And I decided to pull the yellow pear tomato. I've got to actually burn it. I just threw it down right here. It was one of the last things I did. So the plant was sick. That plant was yellowing. It was getting brown spots. I'm not entirely sure what it was. There's early blight, there's late blight, there's wilt. There are, you know, a handful of sicknesses that you can get on your plant. Whenever you live in a place that's very humid and rains a lot, which I do, it just creates those conditions where plants can get sick. And some plants are more prone to that. And that's why I trellis in a single line on cattle panels, and why I prune heavily, and why I keep the bottoms pruned, and why I mulch, because that helps cut down on those moisture problems and lack of airflow and all of that stuff, and it helps plants stay healthier. But the yellow pear variety has just always been kind of problematic for me. So I did end up dumping these out on the ground. I did end up gathering up all of these off the plant, because if I had to pull it out, I didn't want it to be a total loss. Obviously, it's a bummer to lose one of your plants because you were counting on those to produce. Like, whenever I chose how many plants I was going to pick, I was counting on having that one. But with these, I can make like a green tomato relish. I actually had a comment from a viewer when I was talking about fried green tomatoes the other day that said she likes to half and fry green cherry tomatoes. So feeling pretty curious about that. But I don't have to waste these. This is probably about 1.5 pounds of food, and I can find something to do with them. I briefly showed this the other day, and I posted about it on Instagram. I got multiple comments, and I just want to clarify what's going on here with this plant. So this is a tomato plant, obviously, and you see these massive clusters of blossoms. This is called a Multiflora variety. And a Multiflora, this is just this pattern of clusters. This is what is typical of a Multiflora. Probably one of the most well-known Multifloras that you can get right now, you can see aphids on this, are Brad Gates, Wild Boar Farms, Barry's Crazy Cherry. That's a pretty popular Multiflora, and if you've ever seen the pictures in like Baker Creek's catalog, it's like these huge clusters of yellow cherry tomato fruits. And they're in huge clusters because the flowers look like this. Another one, black cherry, comes in a Multiflora. I think that's what this may be. That's the only other one that I can remember starting. But I had some random seeds that I got from seed swaps, and sometimes people will send me like really rare stuff. That's the one plant, one of the plants that the tag accidentally got buried with the root ball of the plant because Ben was helping me. Part of my kind of plan for the day with getting these beds all cleaned out, laying down some fresh mulch. Didn't quite finish. This bed's not done yet, but I'm getting ready. I've been talking to you guys about how I want to just plug in all the spots and fill them up, and that's what I was getting ready to do. It's hard to want to work in the garden when it's overrun with weeds, so we needed to get it clean out for a fresh, clean slate. So in working on these plants today, I realized that many of them are much taller than me, and I found that many are covered in big green fruits. Look at that guy there. I got some major clusters of fruit, some really big ones going on. I've had a lot of people message me lately asking what to do whenever you see leaf curl. And leaf curl can be a sign of a lot of things. It's just basically the plant saying I'm stressed out. Now I want you to notice that this one's leaves are very curled, and its neighbor here completely uncurled. It's exact same conditions, but for whatever reason this guy's having a harder time with it. The primary culprits of leaf curl are overwatering or underwatering. But at this point, when it's the summer and you're getting really hot days, that might be the cause of it. Different varieties handle the heat differently. If you're having pest pressure, that might be the problem. I usually just don't stress about it that much. Honestly, I like my plants to be a little bit stressed out because they produce more chemical compounds that make the flavor of the fruit better. So I'm really curious to see how, with such controlled conditions, the flavor is of all the tomatoes that come out of the greenhouse. I might have to do a blind taste test because I planted some controls. Like I planted some of the same varieties that I planted in there. I planted like a plant or two out here just to be able to compare how they did. And I might have to do a little bit of a taste test to see if I can tell the difference between a greenhouse grown variety and an outdoor grown variety. We did a lot of weeding today, but we did not get to all of it. This is one of the reasons why I like to mulch beds, though. You can see here this bed didn't get mulched, and it just allows the weeds to go crazy. Mulch really helps with that. It does look like these young little rose plants are getting ready to give us some more blossoms. Check out my black beauties. Look at all this fruit. My kids are squirting each other with the hose. You know, I was so concerned that with this summer being largely canceled and pretty much any vacation plans we had kind of getting rearranged, and you know, we were going to go to a couple of conferences, Mother Earth News fairs this summer, and those being postponed, and just all the things that we thought we were going to do this summer that were going to be fun, and like going to public pools and all the stuff that we normally do. And my kids have gotten out here every single day in the backyard and played with the water hose and the sprinkler every day. They come out and they put on some gym shorts, and Malia gets her shorts on, and they go and they jump on the trampoline with the sprinkler and their water hose, and they have such a good time. And I'm just so thankful. Like, kids really are great at adapting and making the best of situations, and even beyond that, gutting our kitchen and doing all these different things. Like, my kids have been such troopers. It's so nice, and they're gonna look at this summer and only remember good things. Hey, Grandpa just pulled up. How about that? My dad and his motorcycle. Hey, Dad.
Hey.
It's getting dark very quick. My dad was out riding his motorcycle and stopped by to say hey to the kids.
I've been ahead.
It's definitely getting dark, but I wanted to walk y'all back here and share something with you. So as a southern born and raised girl, fireflies are not unusual to me. Here's one right up by the greenhouse. They're beautiful, but not unusual. I was raised in town. I never lived in the country until we moved out here 6 years ago. And here you still have fireflies in town. I mean, like, I grew up catching fireflies, or lightning bugs as we called them, just in my neighborhood as a kid. But when you move out into the country, I mean, obviously there are just more of all the kinds of insects, and so there were definitely more fireflies. And I remember shortly after moving out here, driving home one evening and passing this big cattle field, and there must have been 10,000 fireflies just blinking over the expanse of this field. I literally pulled over and like cried. It was like one of those things, and I was really just in this place of just incredible gratitude because this whole thing was happening. I couldn't believe it, and pulling over, and just the fact that that was like right by my house, and I got to live out here it was just an incredible moment of just overwhelm and thankfulness. I just wanted to thank you guys for, you guys keep me thankful. Like right now when we're just busy and we have so many different things going on, it would be simple, it would be so easy for me to like work out here until dark every night and go inside and paint after dark and edit videos and like, you know, you get into that groove of getting so much done and just completely miss the Fireflies. And I share my daily life with you guys, and you say, oh my gosh, so many people when they showed up in our last video said, I'm so thankful to get to see those. I've never seen them in real life, and I've read about them, or I've heard of them, but I've never seen it. It's so cool. Or I used to have Fireflies. I used to live in a place with them, and I moved and I haven't seen them since I was a child. And you share that with me, and all of a sudden, like every single time since then, since reading your gratitude and your wonder, it evokes gratitude and wonder for me. It keeps me sharp. I'm telling you, like, sharing all of this with you has had the incredible, I didn't go after that, but it has had the incredible byproduct of keeping me sharp and so thankful. And so I just wanted to say thank you, and I wanted to show you the Fireflies again. They hang out over across the creek quite a lot. I wish the camera could pick them up better. We have like a jillion other things going on, obviously, but somewhere on the to-do list, we're gonna hang some twinkle lights, or like kind of like the lights that are in the pavilion and the other greenhouse in the high tunnel. And I will probably be doing a lot of my work out here in the dusk like this because it's so much cooler. But the Fireflies get in the high tunnel too, and I'll be out there working, they'll just be blinking around me. Well, I'm obviously completely out of light. It's very, getting very dark out here, and it's just the artificial lights that are making this video possible. Thank you guys for hanging out with me this evening. I've got a lot of painting to do in the house, so I'm gonna go do that, but I bless you. Until next time.